Um, with that said, I don't need a new computer. I've got 4 already. With that said, okay, so looking here at the Forex Trading Asia economic calendar, we are talking about the euro dollar and the euro pound today. What could happen? There are quite a bit of news to be released. So today being Tuesday, we have, in terms of just in terms of the euro and the US news, quite a lot of members speaking, but at this point, I think that there's no real big surprises from there later this evening. And then we have, as Scott was mentioning, Fed Chair Powell testifying as well. We do think that there is going to be a bit of volatility from this news. I would actually take on a different view to Scott. I think that Fed Chair Powell speaking might actually bring a bit of strength to the US dollar. I think it's sitting right at that resistance level now, or close to that resistance level. As I was sharing with the guys last night during the call, I think that we could see the dollar test that resistance level, and this might be the news to actually push it above and beyond that level. We could see further dollar strength. Following on from that, on Wednesday, we again have, well, this is early Wednesday morning, some euro news. But what you're going to pay attention to here is, we have a lot of euro individual country data to be released. Not a big price movers expected, but you can see that we're going to see some very short-term volatility here as German, for example, German retail sales number month on month, looking to go from a minus 5.1% to a positive 1.3. So if it does come out at a positive number, you're going to see that volatility in the euro dollar, but I don't think it would be something to change a trend. It's not something that's going to reverse it completely. I think we're going to see some spikes up and back down again before settling back into the longer term trend. We do have the US pending sales and more central bankers speaking. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow as we get more information about all the central bankers speaking tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, we have, again, a lot of news, but more focus on the pound. And then after that, some other French numbers, but again, not big price movers before German unemployment numbers, looking like a little bit of a recovery there. And then following on, I don't pay too much attention to the Eurozone unemployment rates because, the Eurozone as a whole is made up of several different countries. The unemployment rate is not a good indication of the overall health of the Eurozone, but it is looking to go from a 7.6 to a 7.5%. Main thing for this week is the US GDP number looking to be at about 6.6%. I think that with the way it's been developing, we might actually see it even for a bit of a better number, maybe a 6.7, a 6.8. If we do see anything higher than, even slightly higher than expected, we might see that push towards further US dollar strength because it's a quarter-on-quarter number. And then on Friday, we have more Eurozone numbers. Pay attention to the manufacturing PMI numbers, looking to stay at that 58.7 number, which will indicate, the expansionary phase. It might bring some positivity towards the euro dollar. But the euro CPI looking to go from a 3 to a 3.3% year on year. The current issue they're facing now is that rates are very low. QE is still continuing on with inflation running at a very high level, right? The target is 2 to 3%. We're running at almost 3.3, maybe even coming closer towards the 4% number. The risk is stagflation. I've written quite a bit about that on my own Facebook profile, so you can go check that out. But if stagflation happens, that means there's a lot of money out in the market. Inflation is really high, but productivity is going to drop. So that's going to be a bad scenario there. And if that does happen, we could see that the euro seems to be the front runner of that scenario. So we might see some weakness if this CPI number continues to be quite high. And then we have the US numbers with, I'm not going to pay too much attention to these, but the manufacturing PMI numbers, ISM manufacturing PMI numbers looking to stay at that 59 level. So it looks like still in the expansionary phase. So with all that put together, what you could anticipate for the euro dollar here, when I was first looking at the euro dollar, I was looking at this thinking that if it broke last week's low point at 1.1691, we could be looking for that sell. So I'll put that line there just to show you. Breaking below that point, we could be looking to sell. But the way it's retracing back up, I think that we might actually see it track up a little bit before turning back down again. At this point, what I think would be quite interesting is if I zoom out, you can see that for it to turn back and break lower, I would say you can look for it to break past 1.1687, or if you're a little bit more conservative, 1.1680. Zoom back in. Below that point, you could be looking for about a 40 pip move towards the downside with a stop loss of about 20 pips, a very tight stop loss. Look for it to break below that 1.1680 level before looking to sell towards a 1.1629. That's a 40 pip profit towards the downside with a 20 pip stop loss. You're still looking at a 1:2 risk reward ratio, but be very careful if it does come towards the 1.1629. Why I say that is because if we look at it on a daily time frame, zooming back out, the last time it got to this level was back in October last year. So about 1 year ago, October last year, September and October last year, it came to this point. And look what happened when it reached that level. It went straight back up. It hit that level and went straight back up. It hit that level and went straight back up. I think that at this point, we could see it break lower, hit that level. And at that point, we might see a reaction for the euro dollar to bounce back up from that point. So trade it down. I think it's reasonable to trade it down towards that support level. But what you want to be very careful of is what happens at that point. Do not anticipate that it's going to come to that level and break lower. Looks like it's a strong level, looks like it might hold. With that said about the euro dollar, looking at the euro pound, we were quite keen on this last night, saying that if it broke below that 8538 support level, we're likely to see it come down towards 8497. So far, it hasn't done that. I think what's going to happen is it's going to sit across. Why? Because we're looking at the euro dollar moving down, or possibly sitting across a little bit before moving down, and the pound dollar possibly sitting across as well.